Have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask that.
White people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even close.
Where?
Across the country.
Ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody tripping on you. But these people in just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem. So white America.
So it's been several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
Where's the bird?
No.
Where's the bird? You're not stopping white America from doing anything.
You know what? The bird just burned down $4 billion worth of cities and 60,000 assaults.
No.
There's 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid, and the white kid does 2 to 3. Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asian than white parents? Why?
You said what?
Well, we're having real talk. Why do young black men fight in packs? You have young white people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad?
And they have the guns. They're mad because this thing. Here's why. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down.
Yeah.
My city got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion. And I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to breed racism.
We on now. They respect us cause we on now. Money up, run the whole town, don't we? This power money can't slow down. Money won't slow down. Ooh, we doing a lot. Why they party? I'm in here grinding. Money I'm stacking. Why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't my shit common. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it, it hit different.
What it do, y'all? It's your partner Dale. Back in the saddle again for another edition of the Counter Move podcast here on Thursday, guys. Man, thank you guys so much for kicking it with your button. If you could do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you're liking what you're hearing, guys, like and subscribe for me, guys. This is going to be a very good one. The last one kind of exploded on this topic that we'll talk about today. So we're going to continue because this is going to be a part 2, guys, a part 2 of this. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting my stuff right here on do this on Instagram real fast. I'm sorry, not Instagram, but on Rumble real fast, guys. But guys, like and subscribe, guys, if you could, guys. There's a little bell right there on the screen, no matter what platform that you're on. Click on the thing so when your partner come live, you can come kick it with your mans and them, y'all. Guys, thank you so much for your time, guys. I won't hold you long, but I will, as my boy Destiny says, I will be strong, guys. All right, guys. Last week, come on, what's this thing, guys? I'm sorry, guys. Real time. Where are you at? Oh wow. Well, that sucks. But okay, they've changed this around. Oh well, it is what it is. I'll go up here. Last time, guys, I'm getting this right. Last time business. There we go. Fine. You want to be a prick? Be a prick. Be a prick. Yeah, I mean, they changed this around a lot, y'all. Wow. Okay. This sucks really bad. They changed everything around, guys. This ain't good. Anyways, guys, last time, guys, there we go. Boom. Go ahead and save it. Last time, guys, on this topic, we talked about black fatigue. There was a video that actually came out by Steven Crowder. Very popular guy. I actually like some of his content. He's kind of funny. He's really kind of funny. And he has these different type of series, guys. And I think they're very informative. I think they're very formative, which is good, very educational. And it allows for us to talk a little bit and to reason a little bit together, guys. And he has something called basically he has something called Black and White on the Gray Issues, and he goes into the Black community, and what he does is he sits down and talks with them. This is a white guy talking to black people, which is, I think, it's phenomenal. Having great discussions, guys, and I wanted to continue this going on, guys, because there was a part 2. The last time I got really heated, in a good way, not in a contentious way, but in a good way. And they continued the discussion, and I thought it'd be wild for me to kind of go on part 2 of this. This is going to be very, very fun, guys. So here is part 2. Let me get rid of this real fast. Come on, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. There we go. It's called Facts-Based Racism. Is white fatigue real? And because what Stephen Crowder's been talking about is he's saying that post the George Floyd riots and that whole situation with George Floyd, when it came to dialogue with our white counterparts, there's been what he said that they've received was white counterparts said, shut up, don't ask any questions when it comes to Black issues. So he's communicating that the white counterparts, right Americans, felt kind of trapped. And he said that this is kind of rumbling up beneath the surface. And he believes that this type of approach kind of counsels our white Americans to become a little bit more racial. It could groom them to become more racist because it's cutting off dialogue. And I understand that type of mentality here, what he's talking about. It kind of makes some sense. They went a little bit deeper, and I gotta say, the first time I watched this on part 1, he did an extremely good job asking great questions. But our black brothers and sisters as well, also they answered some questions, but they could have did a little better. But overall, it was a healthy conversation. Now, here is part 2 of it, and they go in. I see Alonzo. I see Big Dog. What's up, baby? How you doing, big time? We see you, baby. But let's dive into this real quickly, guys, and go to part 2 of this. I think that you're going to like it because they go into a lot of issues that a lot of people talk about in the community. Let's dive into this real quickly. This is part 2 of this whole thing with him. Here we go. Let's get it in.
Then don't ask them to pay for it.
Hold on.
You want them to stay away, but foot the bill.
So you got to do that with everything
And now
else
it's
in
the
tax
now it's the boodle and nothing is safe. Stay away from us, but pay for us. Do you realize that guy's going to hate you?
You're ignoring that other side of the coin. If we're going to do that, if we're going to give you that, then you got to go through everything and you got to give us the same thing. We're not going to pay for certain shit that we don't agree with.
Can I ask you something real talk? While we're having real talk, why do young black men fight in packs?
Welcome back. As I'm sure you've noticed, race relations in America aren't exactly where we would hope they'd be in 2025. And considering the events over the past year or few, one can understand why.
22-year-old Logan Federico lived in North Carolina and was visiting friends in Columbia back in May. Authorities say her alleged killer, Alexander Dickey, entered the home that she was staying in and shot her.
Investigators also say Dickey was on a crime spree before killing Logan.
A Collin County grand jury indicted 18-year-old Carmelo Anthony with first-degree murder. He's accused of stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet earlier this year.
Killing a Ukrainian refugee on Charlotte's light rail last month, being put into handcuffs. This new chilling video is one of nearly a dozen new clips now in the hands of WBTV.
That's what prompted me to go back to the barbershop and start the conversation that you saw in part 1 of this video last week.
Have you guys heard of the term black fatigue?
And if you thought that was heated, all I have to say about part 2 today is hold on to your butts.
Yeah. Here we go, guys. Let's get it in.
What I said earlier, and you listen to this, is when you have a young white person going, okay, why is this happening? And people go, Black Lives Matter. And they go, well, hold on a second. I have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. They go, well, sit down, shut up. Okay, now silence is violence. And that kid goes, well, what do I do? By the way, you're on the hook for reparations, even though his father, his grandfather, his great-great-grandfather didn't own a slave, and he's still 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person the other way around. What I'm saying is society is going to create a generation of racists. What do you say to that young white kid? What do you say to him?
Stop watching, stay off of TikTok.
Stop reading stats.
Stop paying attention to what these talking heads are saying, because they're leading you down the wrong path. They're leading you down a path of paranoia and conspiracy theories.
What if their interactions with black people in general are quite negative?
So, same thing. thing, give the same thing in reverse. What about black people who've had continuous, not only historical, but personal experiences where they've been at the wrong end of white people?
Here's the thing. I'll tell you.
And then we get told that those stories are invalid.
No, you're not.
Yes, we do.
You're not.
I've been personally told my story was invalid.
I'll give you an example. And by the way, the only thing that keeps my heart protected from racism, by the way, the only thing that protects me from not wanting to go out and kill the person who shot Charlie Kirk, because by the way, there are two people on earth who know what it's like to sit in that chair. Me and him. And I just did it at SMU and had to have entire bulletproof glass and an army to go in and have conversations, right? So I'm a little bit pissed off about it. Also, people have tried to take my life many times. So I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for anyone, white or black, saying, oh, must be, yeah. You ever have someone show up at your house? You ever have someone show up at your house when your kids are sleeping with weapons being swatted? Like, we've been living through this for a long fucking time and told you don't know what it's like. I will say this. My faith is what has protected me. My faith is what has protected my heart from becoming racist. But I've had a lot of negative interactions. That's why I'm sitting here. We'll have to edit this because just the word.
So again, Stephen's bringing up a good point. He's saying that because there's no dialogue going on between white and black people in some context, the fruit of that lack of dialogue and shutting down a conversation from our white counterparts can lead to an uprising, so to speak, or a counter type of move, a negative counter move that's not productive for society. And I agree. And I would say as black people, we cannot come out and say, but the black side. We have to address that concern, because that's a real concern. Just like we're asking them to listen to us when they came to George Floyd and that situation, and Breonna Taylor and other situations, Trayvon Martin as well, and they had to listen. We got to reciprocate that and listen to them as well, because for a long period of time, what they've been hearing, what Stephen is saying is when it comes to issues, all he's been hearing is white folks shut up and listen. White folks shut up and listen. And it's been used as a weapon. And I know that for a fact because when I was running for public office, guys, in Texas, I had white constituents that were voting for me saying, LaDale, I'm not racist. How do I respond to this type of dialogue? And I said, oh, wow, this is real. So what he's saying is not false as far as Stephen. It is correct. And black folks, we cannot come out and say, but the black side. That's not wise to do. We got to address what he's saying and then bring up the black side. I'm not saying that we don't talk about it. We can talk about it, but let's address the questions we actually have healthy dialogue so we get to a place called peace. That makes sense. Let's get into it.
By the way, if you want a relaxing vacation, stay home. Don't go to I know, but my kids love it. So I go there, okay? And I'll tell you this. You have like this magic wand thing, you run around the hotel and it opens up chests. Wow. And I'm sitting there, I'm sunken eye, and there was a black guy next to me, obviously a dad with like his daughter and his son. And I just kind of looked at him, we looked at each other in the face like, yeah, we know. This is exhausting. And I know we have a lot in common because his wife or woman is probably in the room because he's there with his kids by himself. I was too. But then we were there at the water slides. My kids are 3. And this happened not once, but about 4 or 5 times. And it happened 3 times with one black kid who was about 5 or 6. Shoved my son out of the way to get on the water slide. Okay? My son did nothing. Shoved him out of the way a second time, came back. My son's 2-3 years, which is a big deal at that point. And then at one point I look over, Mom, no Dad. And I just go like, hey, he's being aggressive. Okay, comes back the 3rd time. I go, hey, hold on, you have to wait in line. You know what my son said? My son said, well, Daddy, maybe he's in a real hurry. We should let him go. That was a different interaction. That kid kept doing it to every other and it wasn't the only one. And you know why? Because I've taught my kid, hey, you're going to have people who look different from you, and it doesn't matter, you treat them well. That kid wasn't. And I'm telling you, along with the empirical, anecdotally, if you have a young white person who has these interactions on a regular basis, and I'd be lying to you if I said they were uncommon, while being told they need to shut up because of systemic discrimination, you're going to create a generation of racists.
I get it. But that child was poorly parented, too.
I agree. All the time.
Hey, Steve, that child was poorly parented. There's no way in the world his mother shouldn't have intervened and whipped his the first time.
No. The dad did nothing, Steve?
The dad wasn't there.
There was no dad. That's to say that mom, no dad. Now I say because it's not a race thing. The dad, him and I looked and were like, dude, I get it, right? We're both tired. But here, this kid, I don't know, maybe the dad wasn't there. His mom didn't. And he shoved my son out of the way 3
But it's
times.
poor parenting, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
We run into that all the time.
That's what I was about to say. It's poor parenting everywhere. And that creates individuals that grow up to be grown up individuals.
Let me give you one.
And some of those individuals end up getting positions of power.
Well, see, can I interrupt one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Actually, because I like the thing about choices.
Okay.
And you were talking about the federal
By
department.
the way, the whitest
I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, like there's a couple things. You said you ended up in and so you don't have to worry about things that people in South.
No, I said I've been afforded some things.
Afforded?
Yeah.
Why? How are you afforded that? You just happen to land
No,
here?
I sacrificed some things to live in.
Correct.
Right.
You made good choices.
I made choices. I made choices
and we talk about educational standards.
But I also had opportunities available to me too that some people didn't have.
Of course, everyone has a different lot for sure.
Right.
Sure.
But you were talking about educational standards. Why is it that the Asian kid does 3 times to 4 times as much homework than the black kid, and the white kid does 2 to 3? Why?
Because it's culturally, it's conditioned.
Exactly.
So why is it better parenting from Asians than white parents? Why?
You said what?
Why is there better parenting? What he's trying to say is, you said bad parenting.
Well, I said.
So why is there better parenting from Asians and white parents?
Yeah, culturally, the educational mindset, culturally, when among Asians, they're taught from young that's primary.
Sure.
Over anything else, entertainment,
also obeying the law,
how you dress, none of that matters.
And it's
up here matters.
Right, and they're also about 3 to 4 times more likely to have a father in the household than a black. Why is this disproportionately affecting this one kid? Because I have a question because I actually have, like, my uncle, my aunt's married to a black dude, one of the most accomplishment of all time. Helicopter pilot, National Park Ranger, served his country, has a Ferrari in the driveway, right? He wears, crew socks, so we can forgive him for some things. But my whole life I've had this great black role model in my life. But then I try to ask questions, and I have a hard time asking him because I don't want to upset that relationship.
You're being responsible with your work.
So I want to ask now,
It doesn't help that you look like you're in the Third Reich.
I'm not even going to take that out. But then if you talk about there's no power. Well, we were talking about Charlotte, and you said the black activist judge. Well, in Charlotte, it's not just the black activist judge. It's the DA that's black that instituted those policies. It's a black mayor.
Whoa.
So could we at least agree, before the civil rights movement and now, do blacks have more or less institutional power?
There's been some bad and some good that came
We have
along
less
with the civil
institutional
rights
power,
movement.
but you know what we don't have?
We
as
more.
a community, we don't have the unity.
Well, here's the problem we have.
So the last thing I want to ask,
I want to ask you a question before you say the last thing you want to ask.
It kind of all throws together, and I'll just let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
Why was the black community one of the fastest growing economic demographics in the country? Why were there tons of fathers in the household? Black people were becoming great role models and integrating into society naturally. And now it's substantially worse
than it
was before Martin Luther King.
You know why it's worse?
Yeah.
Because of the fact that and I'm gonna say this openly because I can't get into the specifics, but I work for an entity that I was flabbergasted to learn this. All right, and what we do is we provide Medicaid, right? And this is a former campaign I worked on, and I was awestruck when I would have white females that would call, and they would call on behalf of their entire family, which included the husband, right? So many people say, well, the welfare queen is having more children because she gets more food stamps. Well, here's how it really works, and I can tell you this from firsthand knowledge, right? Let's say I've got a household of a wife and a husband, and I've got 4 kids. That household can earn up to $6,900, right? And here's what happens. Even if the husband is in the household, many times they're self-employed. So, of course, you can skew the numbers any way you want. And you and your family will continue to get full health care. A black mother is always told if there's a man in the house, number one, then it's a no-go, okay? Look at the Section 8 Housing Authority. Now, here's what happened, and you want to know what happened, what caused
I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, what caused the problem in black America. What caused the problem in black America is the fact that when the father became absent in the home, right? When he became absent in the home, it left the mothers to bear the brunt. So to answer your question, do we have more influence in some areas? Perhaps, but ask yourself this. Do we have more influence economically? Because if you go back and you look prior to the civil rights movement, let me tell you something right now. You had more black carpenters and tradesmen all over the place.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, that's right. But the problem is, again, if you agree with that, then you'll agree with the fact that if it had not been for the change in the systemic dynamics, that black men would still be in the home or what have you.
Right.
And the black family would still be doing it.
federal government policy has not been instituted to help black people ever, but really to make them dependents of the state when they were doing just damn fine without the federal government that you want in more people's lives.
The only reason why it's almost like reparations would be the same thing.
My question to that is, why is that a problem for white America? And we were already...
Because it's one country.
Because it's what?
We are one country, and the problems of one community...
We're not one country. We're an entity. We're a corporation. The United States is a corporation. It's not a country.
It certainly is. And with that attitude, we can never be a country. If that's the attitude that people have.
Because it's not a country. It was never built. It's written in the Constitution. It's a corporation.
That is definitely not written in the...
That is not written in the Constitution. That's just not true.
It's not a country. So what I'm saying is, we were black people in our own communities thriving, like you said, doing our own thing. Why was that a problem for white America? We were doing our own thing. Why did y'all come and burn down Wall Street, Black Wall Street? We had our thing going. Why is it an issue when we have our own thing going and we're minding our business? White America comes in and figure out a reason to, oh, that's wrong. Y'all are doing something wrong. That's not by the code. That's not by the rules.
No one here is trying to justify clear racist policies of the past or racism of the past. Of course that existed. No one was arguing that.
Here's the thing.
We're not arguing. I'm asking why is that
I'm just one thing. It sounds like you're saying that you would want racial segregation. Because you're saying...
I don't want racial segregation. We asked for equality. We didn't get that.
But you're saying your own community doing your own thing.
Well, hold on one second. I got to ask a question, and those in the chat, if you're watching this, put down there. Here's my question, because what I'm hearing them say is we asked for equality, and the asking is coming from what they deem as their oppressors, right? So you ask the oppressor for equality. I have to have ask a really good question, in my opinion. Have you guys, if there is an oppressor, right? Have you ever met an oppressor that would make those that they are oppressing equal to them? Let me say it again. Have you ever met an oppressor make those that he or she is oppressing equal to them? The answer to that question is no. So if you begin with that as the foundation, you've already lost. You're done for. Because if you look at the chronological order of what the lion's share of the argument is, because in other words, the argument is we're being oppressed, right? That's the argument. To this day, that side of that ideology is asking for equal rights. Well, that leads me to conclude what you're asking for, they ain't giving to you. So why do you keep going to the same entity or people or ideology that is oppressing you in your context, right? And keep asking them for equality, and they have yet to give it to you based on what your ideology says. Am I making some sense here, or am I off my rocker? I have never met an oppressor give those that he or she is oppressing equal rights to them. I've never seen it before in my life. Not one time. So I got to ask the question, is this a ruse? Is it? Because we've been asking for equal rights since the 1960s. I began there. It's 2025. That's 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. That's 65 years. And we still talking about we shall overcome? And our verse of we shall overcome is asking those that are oppressing us and with that ideology, which is your ideology, those that are oppressing us to give us equal rights. And they have yet to do it. Stop asking and start walking in what you already have. Authority. Am I tripping? Let's keep going.
Are you saying that we should be separate communities? That's what I'm asking. Are you saying we should be separate white and black communities? That's what it sounds like a little bit.
Separation may be the answer.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, separation could be the answer.
What if a white person says that? Is it racist?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I think
But if you're saying it in a narrative that we are a threat to you guys, so that's why we want to be separate.
But you just said that white people are a threat to black people. That's what you just said. So why can't white people say it? And I don't think separation is the answer.
I didn't say that. I said you guys find a problem with everything that we do.
If separation is the answer,
reparations, come on with it.
So who gets the reparations?
The whole black
American descendants of slavery.
The people that have been wrong for so many years.
America.
The government that's taking from us.
Hey, Ukraine. I ain't never personally.
Hold on one second, guys. When it comes to reparations, guys, definitely go to reparations, guys. And I got educated on this fact. Reparations is a state's issue, not a federal issue. I said it again. Reparations is a state issue, not a federal issue. If you want reparations, go to your state, because it was a state's issue.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, why are we paying that?
Right, so
I agree with you. How about we pay none of it and let people make their own decision?
You would just go back to reparations. That's the system.
To answer the question of who should pay,
the
federal government should be on the hook for some of that. But every single company that benefited from chattel slavery, all the insurance companies, all the freight companies, all of those companies that existed then, that still exist now in some name, shape, or form, they should have to pay into that because they all profited for it. Just think about this. You insured a slave. When you bought a slave, you got insurance on that slave. That insurance company made money off of that.
Got a point.
And they built up into
what percentage of the workforce in the United States do you think were actually slaves here in this country? Because that might.
I don't know what the percentage was, but I know all the hard work. I know who did all the hard work.
No.
I know
you know
who
what?
I
You
know
just said
who
the
worked
railroads.
7
You just said the railroads. Why aren't the Chinese immigrants asking for reparations?
Because they've already been gifted what they were going to get.
You did what?
We did it for them.
You did it full?
For them.
No, the Chinese built the railroads. The Chinese were slaves. They built the railroads.
We did that for them.
No. The Chinese were the majority of the slaves building railroads.
Now, on
They
the
didn't get
railroad,
reparations. They don't want it.
Well, I tell you what. Next time we'll have you a Chinese dude in here so you can ask him that. I don't give a I'm talking about black people.
Can you guys deal with the straight hair like that?
Yeah, actually, that's another misconception that we get all the time too.
We can cut any kind of hair, but we're talking about what black people. Hold on. We're talking about where the money's supposed to come from. It's companies that are trillion-dollar, billion-dollar companies that started in the 1600s, 1700s, that are still around, and they benefited and profited immensely from that.
What if it's a company that never had slaves? Should they pay reparations?
No, not that the company had slaves, but we had companies that insured slaves. You had companies that transported slaves.
But what if it's a company that did none of it? Should they pay?
No, if they didn't have anything to do with chattel slavery, no, they shouldn't.
Neither
but
did
the
I.
companies that should.
Okay.
But let me say this.
But your grandfather.
But you understand the point?
But if your grandfather was here in the United States, I don't know. You said you from Canada. I don't know. We're not worried about it. We're worried about the people.
What if
that
your
were
grandfather was a slave owner and mine wasn't?
My grandfather was.
What if he was? But my point is, what if he was?
Because my father was a sharecropper in Plaquemine, Louisiana, in a little small town called Bayagula. So he was 2 generations removed from slavery. So I know I have a root in slavery.
Okay.
Somebody owned my great-great-grandfather.
What if I have no root in slavery?
Well, you don't owe nothing. You don't owe anything. Your grandfather, if your grandfather from Canada, he wasn't down here owning slaves.
Okay, I'm just trying to. So then people who didn't own,
down here telling
we don't pay
what to
reparations.
He owed money.
But Steve, here's what I'm telling you. Though. Hold on a second. Here's what I'm telling you. If you're to go through the numbers, so do we agree? If I have no connection to slavery whatsoever, that I don't owe.
You still
me.
You don't.
We agree.
Don't.
Okay. So do you realize that you could take all the white people in this country, and if you're going to add up everyone where you could actually trace the lineage to slave owners or had any involvement, you would end up with maybe 2 or 3%. 2 or 3% of white people in this country.
There go them numbers. There go them numbers. You throw out. There go them numbers. There go them.
Most of us have nothing.
Somebody did it. Somebody did.
Yeah,
and somebody
Africans sold them into slavery.
Somebody owed.
It's still going on right now.
Somebody owed.
There are more slaves on earth right now than ever. Did you know that?
Steve, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
I gotta agree with my brothers here. Concerning companies that benefited from slavery, I believe that there should be tax for that as well. But there was an ill committed against African Americans, yes, But this is a state's issue, not a federal issue. All right. Segregation was a state's issue, not a federal issue. So if you have issue, if you want reparations, guys, talk to your state. Right. And I would say, but I do agree, companies that benefited from writing insurance policies on slaves, they should be taxed at the state level, not the federal level, because the states allowed that to happen. Because remember, we are the United States of America. We have made up 50 different states. You have a federal side, but you also have states' individual rights, right? So when it comes to reparations, it is a state's issue. So talk to your state. Okay, we got to get our context right. Let's get it.
We're not gonna really get to the heart of it. Let me ask you this: are you aware of what's going on with McDonald's right now?
McDonald's the company?
Yeah, McDonald's the company.
I'm aware they can't get my fillet of fish right anytime I go.
Let me tell you what's really happening. I got a friend of mine who currently has 5 McDonald's locations, right? So there are many times he says, Cedric, sometimes I've got to get up at nighttime to go and check, even if the chiller goes out, right? So I said, man, why is that so? What's really happening? He said, Cedric, what happens is there are most black franchisees, right, that own these McDonald's. He said, we have to get them in the most low-performing areas, right? Never mind the fact that we make the same investment up front to purchase one of those McDonald's, right? So when you talk about that, let's look at the systemic and institutional biases that are involved just in that. You tell me I got to pay you $1 million to get a McDonald's, right? Same thing as my white counterpart. But yet, I'm relegated to take a McDonald's in an area that's probably highly impoverished. I've got to keep coming up with all.
I gotta call cap on that one. That may have happened to that individual person, right? But there are a lot of African Americans and also other minorities that actually own McDonald's in great areas, phenomenal areas. So why is it when there's, for him to say it's a systemic issue, would happen to someone that he may know, and I hate that. We have to get more than just a one person sample size to see if it actually has happened to multiple people, like a plethora of people. But I can say off the top of my head, be honest with you, because I got full disclosure, when I was in high school, I actually worked for McDonald's. I enjoyed it. I got free food, wonderful. I'm a big McDonald's fan. I know the food is bad, but it's good to me. It's good to me. It's good. But at the exact same time, guys, you can't just use one example, an anecdotal example, and say, hey, it's systemic. It's systemic. That's the problem. No, because you're presenting a case saying that the system of McDonald's is flawed when it comes to the biases in the system. That's not true. Maybe he got a bad agent with them, and that's the case. That agent needs to be fired, right? Sure, I can understand that sentiment, but don't lump it on top and say it's a systemic issue with just one example. You can't do that.
Kind of gimmicks to keep the foot traffic coming through the stores where nobody talks about that.
Well, what about the flip side of it?
What happens on the flip side?
What about the flip side of it? What about the fact that you have the government that has grants that they invest in black-owned businesses that don't happen for white people?
Let me ask you this, Steve. It's funny you.
Does that even it out?
No.
So you know what? I'm glad they brought this up. My boy Alonzo's here, and he says right here. He says, LaDale, why don't black people support companies? For example, many of us invest with Charles Schwab, but not Ariel Investments nor Harlem Capital. So what he's saying is, and he says, and keep going, and Charles Schwab has a fund with Ariel Investments for the last 30 years. So I'm assuming Ariel Investments and Harlem Capital are black companies, right? And it makes sense for them to partner with Charles Schwab, because Charles Schwab is a big organization. So he actually has a great point here, guys, and I'm gonna do it like this here. A great point. This would be better like this here. And he has a. Oh, hold on. Come on back. He has a great point here. Here we go. Right here. Great point right here. Great point. Oh, he's not gonna let me do it. Oh no. Oh, it's all good. All right. Here it is. There's a good point right here, guys. Is this here? Is when it comes to investment dollars or banking dollars, why are we not banking black? Why are we not trading black? on stock market? Why are we not mortgaging black, right? The Jews do it. The Jews do it. Why not? This is how you begin to build the economic power of African Americans. You bank black, you shop black, you buy black. Why not support your black-owned businesses? Good friend of mine, Mitch. He's out of Houston, Texas. He's a wine connoisseur, and he buys his wine from a black vendor. Love that. Love it. He works for a bank. He funds black businesses. Love it. Love it. Why don't we bank black? Why don't we shop black? Why don't we trade black? Why don't we buy black? Why not? I would love to park some money at a black bank and being able to operate as if I'm operating with Bank of America or any other big bank, right? So that we can grow our economic base. But I can't find a black-owned bank that can be that flexible when it comes to lending out money. I can't. That's the problem. We got to solve that. We got to solve it.
No, but because
that exists.
Here's something you keep saying. You say that these grants exist for black people, but let me ask you.
Okay, but my point is both sides of that coin, right?
Yeah,
it exists for a reason. Why, what's the reason?
The reason is based on what he's saying. That's why it's an appropriate.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you use his example of the McDonald's, what would be the reason for relegating the black owners to the low income neighborhoods?
I don't know. I'm not able to verify that all that's factual. I know. Were you told you could only open here in nice?
Huh?
Were you told you could only open here in a nice?
Well, this is Steve's shop, but no.
Okay. But my point is,
but see, you have to understand something. Before you answer that question, you have to understand something. There's a difference in McDonald's and what have you. Because the way that's structured, the way that hierarchical structure runs, they will designate you certain areas of what have you that you will be awarded a location in. You just don't have the right to say, okay, I'm paying $1 million.
That's the same for everyone. That's the same for everyone. I know a guy. Well, he just died not too long ago. He had a bunch of which I don't know how they're still around. It's disgusting. But
neither do I.
It's awful. I have never had a good meal at but he had to be in certain too because they had to displace his franchise investment, right? That's part of it, where he was like, this one place is killing me, but as long as I get this spot, when I average out the 4 spots, okay, I can turn a profit. So this isn't unique to the black community. What is unique is investments from the federal government and state government into black-owned businesses to rectify it that white people don't get. So it's not enough. So what would be enough?
Because of historical injustices that have been done to impede black businesses. So
it's not enough now, but what would be enough?
You have to ask yourself, why would they do that? Why would they pay that?
What's the number?
Because conditions historically.
That's my point. What's the number, right? Public Department of Education, Great Society, Model Cities Program, black businesses, Pell Grants, affirmative action, DEI. It's not enough. What's the number that's enough?
Once again, just like we said about the civil rights movement, about the education and all that, you can do certain things in the name of doing the right thing, but you do it wrong. So
what's the number?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't personally have an answer to that question.
One moment, just one second. Would you agree that if a young person who has no connection to slavery whatsoever, you probably need a number for them? Otherwise, they're probably going to be pissed.
They didn't need a number for Ukraine.
Cool.
Sure, they paid them same taxes. They didn't need a number for how much we were going to pay.
You're talking about reparations to a young person, right, in the name of sins of forefathers. My point is, what's the number? Because the number now is trillions of dollars.
Good question.
I get it. The government screws everything up, and I will agree on that. What's the number? You're sitting down right now with a 22-year-old white kid.
Give my daughter $15 million and we'll call it square.
$15 million?
$15 million apiece. We'll call it square. That's for me and for them.
$15 million, okay.
$15 million. Look, since a lot of people don't care about their taxes, add an extra 2% to what you pay in taxes. How about that? 2%. That's a number.
2% for how long?
Let's see. How long it was?
So 2% only for white people who have a connection to slavery at their forefathers, right?
How long were we in slavery?
You'd end up with no money. You'd end up with zero money. You'd each end up with about $14.99.
You keep letting our people off the hook.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the government paying taxes. I'm not talking about just people who are responsible. Once again, I'm not responsible for anything happening in Ukraine, but I'm paying for it.
I agree.
So why should that rationale not transfer to this?
Because it's rationale.
It's not when the It's not when the United States is the people who perpetrate.
Well, that's why I need to ask the number, because if you're talking about more than $15 per black person, you're talking about trillions of dollars.
Right, but if we're going to be a part of the same country, like Lane said, we're going to all be a part and members of the same country. Well, we have to take on what comes with that. What comes with that is historically, every time black, like Chris said earlier, every time black people have achieved en masse, it's been torn down. No. And then you get to a point where
you're talking about the riots,
Then you get to a point where you're like, I can mention there's several black communities that's under lakes. There's one that's under Central Park in New York. Like, there's plenty. But my point is, then you get to a point where you say, okay, we're gonna do this in the interest of justice. But then redlining and all that stuff happens, and then the prison industrial complex, all of that stuff that happens that adds to the wrong of it. It gets mixed in and say, well, yeah, we tried, and you should just be happy with it.
Here's the problem. What you just said, it was the rhetoric and the reasoning behind catch and release, doing away with the three-strike policy. You point to New York. You got a black mayor and crime got worse.
Because he's a criminal.
And because you got 30 million people living in a
white guy before him. He was grabbing every guinea intern.
And probably the white guy that put him in his spot.
Okay, so it's worse. In other words, it's worse, right? Mm-hmm. Because of the prison industrial complex. That's why that guy was out 14 times.
But I'm saying that's also why you have less fathers. That's why you have less fathers in the home. So redlining and the prison industrial complex is the two main caveats to less fathers in the home.
We've done the opposite of the prison industrial complex. Violent offenders are being released into society and committing crime in record numbers right now.
And nonviolent offenders are being held on petty charges.
No, they're not.
I've personally done the numbers on
How did that guy get out after 14 times? George Floyd 9 times. Do you realize 11 times arrested is the average murderer?
And you got people in there for weed charges that's in there for...
It's not a thing. It's less than 0.5% of federal penitentiaries.
And that's the thing. When you tell somebody that personal knowledge don't matter because the stats matter more, I personally know this. I know somebody.
And I get you, brother, that you know somebody that's been in there, and both are true. But I think what Stephen is saying is he's saying that if you look at the macro numbers, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. Not to discount what you're saying, no, because I agree with you, brother. There are people that actually have petty crimes that are actually in jail. Yes, they are. But from a macro perspective, not a micro, but macro perspective, the numbers are not reflective at that as a big problem, if that makes some sense.
Right now, that's in jail for small but I know somebody else that did some big and they out.
Small keep defining small. So he had a joint on him?
Selling weed.
He's in prison right now because he had a joint.
But a small amount.
One time he got caught selling. One time a small joint he was selling.
No,
let's talk about small things. Let's talk about it. What is it really?
That's what I'm saying. If you want to frame it in the one-time small joint, that's a straw man argument. I'm saying,
what is he in for?
I don't know how much he had, but it was.
And one time?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was one time.
He got caught one time selling.
No, I don't know. It wasn't his first time. No.
Okay, so he got caught multiple times. Yeah. And he was selling weed.
But every time wasn't the same thing.
Do you know how many people die from lace weed?
I don't.
You know about the fentanyl problem in this country?
Yeah, I do know about fentanyl.
You know that most people aren't trying to get fentanyl, right?
But
weed itself never killed anybody.
I'm about to say fentanyl ain't our thing.
No, what I'm saying is, do you realize why trafficking drugs is a problem? You said a little thing. Can I tell you that if I had a white friend who was caught trafficking drugs, and I don't think weed should be outlawed, by the way, it's bullshit. Just to be clear. But if I had a white friend who was arrested the umpteenth time for selling a brick of weed, I would go, yeah, that makes sense. We would expect it.
Not for weed.
Of course.
Not for me.
Selling weed, yeah. Selling a giant brick of weed multiple times, yes. Yes,
and
those are choices.
And at the same time, I know people personally that like, you got dudes out here like selling all kinds of other shit. I ain't gonna even put names on it, but you got dudes out here selling all kinds of other shit and they free. They've been arrested a couple times too, but they back out.
But at what point do we say, hey, you know what? Once you've been arrested for trafficking, for selling drugs, if you do it again, that's kind of on you.
Cocaine, man, we'll let you back out for cocaine. Oh, meth, don't worry about it. Sit in the pen.
You
for a
said a
couple
little
years.
thing.
Go on
That's
back
not
home.
a little thing.
Weed? Oh no, 8 to 9 years, you done.
Okay, how about this? Someone who goes out and commits multiple crimes and felonies, if we do doesn't get any reparations. Because the white kid who didn't break the law, who never had any slaves and his forefathers, shouldn't be paying for someone who's a serial offender. Could we do that math? Would that be fair?
No.
Nope? Okay.
No.
Absolutely.
And the reason why, once again, because I'm
trying to find some common ground, because that white kid...
And I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to start the starting point right here when you're not factoring in what happened to get that kid in that low-income, impoverished environment that created the criminal that he ended up being.
Oh my God, this is what we do. It's not crime, it's poverty. Then
brother.
why do poor white people not commit violent crime at the same rate?
They do.
No, they don't.
It's just usually different types of crime.
No, they do not.
They do.
It's a fact, dude.
Y'all just shovel them all
They
in the
just
trailer
different
park,
types.
act
Yeah,
like
they
they
just
don't
different
exist.
types of
No,
crime.
no,
And then
we
they go
don't
off. They
we
go
don't
off
shovel
in
in
the
the trailer
hills and
park.
live.
They stealth.
They go off in the hills and live amongst the rest of the toothless hillbillies, but they do.
You don't hear it.
Yeah, they just don't.
We're talking about statistical realities.
There's no cameras over
of
there.
the young white male, when the young white male is the real threat to America as it stands.
You know what? You're right. I agree. You're right about that. Because young white males are going to be the majority with guns, and if you keep telling them that they're fucking criminals and they should pay for people's bad decisions, you don't want to see them angry. Because they've never been angry. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at young men, and they're way, way more angry than I ever was.
Well, if they're that angry, why they could? Well, if
So they're getting their ass kicked.
If they're that angry, why they only killing each other in their communities? When's the last time you? I mean, how many? Let's look at recently.
That's a good question. Why are they not killing black people?
No, you know.
Why are young white people
here's
not?
the point. Because they're able to understand
the ones that's
that
pushing
these
for
are
the
not
Civil
the
War, they
problem.
want
They're not. Listen, they're able to understand that. You know what? Perhaps I've been looking at it and I've been taught wrong. Maybe the problem lies with the person who I've been looking up to for all my guidance. Because listen, I mean, think about it. Even with the most, and let me tell you this, and I'm going on record as saying this. I don't care who you are and what your political dissidence is. There's no justification for going out taking the life of someone. Just because you have a different opinion of mine doesn't mean I'm going to get angry enough to say I'm going to go out and shoot you. Right? When you go, when
I gotta say, this conversation is a lot better than what our politicians be having. They're acting in real time, negotiating and ironing out issues. They can agree to disagree in some form or fashion, but they're actually talking about real world stuff in real time and so trying to come up with real solutions, not talking points. But let's finish, guys. Let's finish.
everybody asks me, because I got people who ask me, man, what did you think about this incident with Charlie Kirk? I say, you know what? People are not going to want to talk about it. I say, but this here was really a situation where this kid, more than likely, wasn't angry because of what was happening in Black America.
No, he wasn't. That wasn't.
He was angry because of the fact that Charlie Kirk had a different opinion about people who are homosexuals. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. And that was the cause that I believe in my mind personally that led him to say, you know what? This has got to be stopped because of the fact this guy is talking about someone who I love. Okay, so let's talk about that. That crime really probably could be looked at more as a crime of passion versus a political outcry for difference. You understand?
No, it's political assassination. But here's one thing we can all agree on, right? The guy who shot Charlie Kirk, okay, his roommate, his lover, was a dude who was claiming he was transitioning to a woman. You're just fucking gay at that point.
You're just gay. Let's call it for what it is.
Right?
Yeah, you're just gay.
Can we all agree on that? It's like, no, you're going. He's not even a chick yet.
My question is, like, out of that tragedy, why did the next day Black communities have to get threats?
They did.
Yes, they did. Southern University.
You're talking to the wrong guy, pal.
No, I'm just asking.
I can tell you who got the
Southern
threats.
University in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I'm personally tied to that school.
No, you know who got the threats? Let me
Southern
explain.
University got one.
You're turning this into a race thing where I agreed that it's not. But let me tell you something. Every single vigil, every single memorial, where, by the way, both black and white conservatives tried to mourn peacefully their own, desecrated, attacked, assaults, even in war, they let you bury your dead. And that's because of radical LGBTQAIP. That's not a race thing at all, but it's the same wing that's pushing reparations. So when you're linking arms with them, we need to hear you disown those people, too.
So here's the thing. There's a
those
large
two problems should not be tied together.
Hold on, let me finish.
Joy Reid
There's
does.
a large contingent of Black America that does disown them. They don't speak for us.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, on the right, there's the Jared Taylors and all of these different people, these super Christian nationalist dudes. I don't see nobody on the right separating themselves from him.
Well, we don't need to, because Richard Spencer and David Duke voted for Biden and Harris. Sorry, David Duke endorsed Jill Stein.
Richard Spencer, though.
What I'm saying is white supremacists don't vote Republican. They vote Democrat.
Jared Taylor did. And he encouraged all of his people to.
Jared Taylor is not the, first off, he's not in charge of the KKK or like that. He's the one who's talked about race and IQ. And I don't know that he did vote for Donald Trump. But I do know that
people, the Patriot Front and all of them dudes subscribe to that.
There's nothing that's conservative about white supremacy. That's why they don't vote conservative. They vote Democrat. They're socialists. But the issue here that we're talking about is, again, I agree with you on Charlie Kirk. It's not political. That's why I'm going, I don't think that you realize you pivoted it into a race issue and said black people were more at risk.
Well, you just asked why we didn't separate ourselves from the
No,
extremists.
I
and
said
I'm saying,
after.
why don't y'all separate yourselves from the extremists?
Well, of course we do.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, they suck.
I haven't seen that. I personally haven't seen that.
We all do. It's never enough.
I pay attention to all that stuff.
We all do. Donald Trump did. He was still able to raise. He said, I'm not talking about white supremacists and neo-Nazis who are horrible and should be condemned totally. The media cut it out. Did you know that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. You probably heard he said there were fine people on both sides, right?
I heard that clip.
Right before that, he goes, look, I'm not saying white supremacists are neo-Nazis who should be condemned totally, but outside of that, you had on this monument argument, fine people on both sides.
And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
Why do you think the media lied to you?
But if he said if that's true, then let me ask you a question.
It is true. I can show you the clip.
Well, why did he not sue those media networks like he said when the interview with Kamala Harris was edited?
He did, and he won.
Well, why was that not publicized?
Why do you think? Do you think the news agencies want to publicize or lose it?
That was going to be my next point. Is media does what it does on both sides.
No, the media is incredibly left.
That's the point.
If you line up the media,
always have is because when one person says, well, there's problems on your side too.
Sure.
You say, well, no, you dismiss those.
But here's my issue with the brother, and he's a very talented brother. It seems to be that when Steven Crowder brings up a point, what I hear from this brother is, but your side. There's never an addressing of any facts that Steven brings up, right? And I don't mind also you guys asking Steven a question and he has to stand 10 toes down and answer that question. But it seems to be that when it comes to questions that Steve is actually asking, the questions are very rarely answered. It's always, but the other side. But the other side. You got to answer questions so we actually have a healthy dialogue. All right? Stop deflecting and just answer the questions.
And you say, we're just going to point to your problems.
No, name me one right-wing source of media. Name me one outside of Fox News. Name me one outside of Fox News. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC. Local. Name me one outside of Fox News that's conservative. You can't.
Breitbart.
That's not a mainstream outlet, Breitbart. Then we could go Salon. Then we could go HuffPo. For years in this country, ABC, NBC, CBS. Now you go CNBC, MSNBC, CNN.
And once again, all of them are left. All of them got their shit.
All of them are left.
Yes, all of them got their shit.
New York Times, Washington Post. Go through them. Right? We have to agree on that. Hey, that's why you were lied to.
But that's the thing. People lose the ability to think critically, think for themselves, and they just lean whatever way the publication or the platform is telling them.
Right.
Now it's up to people that run these platforms and publications to be responsible with their words and how they're leading people. But you got one.
But I agree with you, brother. But it's up for us to hold those media outlets, whether they are liberal or conservative, to account, right? To make sure that we get in the truth. That's why I love independent journalists. I love people like SUNY, like Tumblr, like just those. I just named those two because they bring. Joe Collins is another guy. Julius is another guy as well. These are independent journalists outside of Joe Collins because he's not a journalist at all. He's a businessman, but they're very good at holding both the liberal side and the conservative side from a media standpoint to account. I love it 100%. So it's up to us to realistically begin to vet what we've been shown, no matter if it's coming from the conservative side or the liberal side. It's up to us.
Half of the country that's purely led to think that these people are bad, and then that's all it is. It's just
I think they're bad. I think people who cut out Donald Trump saying, not saying white supremacists and who should be condemned. I think the media that cut out on January 6th, where he said, of course, make your voices heard peacefully, patriotically, but peaceful. You have to be peaceful.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
and they cut that out. I think that media is bad.
Statement when this is the same guy who says if you want your country, come down to D.C. and fight like hell or not. You're not.
He did in that same speech. He said, "Fight like hell, peacefully. Has to be done peacefully." You know who else said fight like hell? Kamala Harris.
But that's the biggest option. How can you have a peaceful fight? Somebody says, you know what? I'm going to tap you like that.
We're gonna act like fight like hell is an expression. Oh, come on, you're smarter than that. Fight like hell is an expression. Joy Reid uses it. Kamala Harris uses it. Biden uses it. Barack Obama used it. Every single one.
Let me ask you a question,
violence to Donald Trump.
All of those platforms, networks that you and Travis just so eloquently exchanged.
Mine was not eloquent.
How many of those are ran by black people?
Hold on.
We don't control shit.
And that's on us. That's on us. We not making the power moves. We not. Why don't we follow Bob Johnson, the former owner of BET and the Charlotte Bobcats? Why don't we follow Byron Allen, who owns the Weather Channel, right? The HBCU Go. Why don't we follow these guys? Magic Johnson actually buying insurance companies, right? And sports franchises. Why don't we follow these blueprints? Tyler Perry when it comes to movies and TV sitcoms. Why are we not following these individuals? Why are we not following them? The one thing that's constant is none of the people that I actually mentioned ever depended on the government. They never did. Never did. They went out and made it happen. That's on us. I agree we don't own any other media outlets. Did you guys know that CNN is about to go for sale? CNN, black folks, let's get together and go buy CNN. Why not? Why not? Why not? They're trying to, the owners of CNN are trying to sell it right now because their ratings are trash. And watch another white man come out and buy it. Watch. Why? Because we're not ready. We're not ready as a people. Not ready. Why not? Get with the Magic Johnsons or Byron Allens, right? And say, hey guys, we got a major network. I know they've been struggling a little bit, man. How can we go out and get this together and buy? Why not? Why can't we do that?
Once again, why we always get to blame for everything? We don't control nothing.
What percentage of commentators? Are black?
I don't know. I don't watch mainstream.
It's about 25%, despite being 12% of the population.
But they still working on a platform that is not controlled or ran by black people.
So,
we don't discriminate.
So when you lay out responsibility,
is Van Jones not black? Joy Reid not black?
He black.
Sonny Hostin not black?
Black, yes.
They're allowed to express their opinion.
Is he on the Van Jones network? Is Van Jones on the Van Jones network? Joy Reid's numbers were dog shit. That's why she got fired. Just like Jimmy Kimmel. Van Jones network.
So now Jimmy Kimmel's numbers are bullshit, but nevertheless, though, you had a national outcry where ABC had to retract and bring him back. I mean,
someone from the left also shot up an ABC affiliate. Huh? Someone from the left also shot up an ABC affiliate, so that was a big deal.
See, again, Steve, we can go backward and forward all day. The broader context is the fact that, you know what? There is a part of white America that needs to acknowledge the fact that, look, even if reparations is not going to happen, because we damn well know it's not, right? At least stop preventing us from moving forward. Listen, do you know?
I don't know how we are.
Do you know right now, in the venture capitalist world, 97.3% of their money, their lending, goes to actual white firms. Now, there was a movement in Georgia where these women were given $20,000 to other women contestants because they had a little small minority component over there, right? That went to court, and they said you cannot do that because it is discrimination, but nobody ever challenged the VC, okay? So you explain to me, now again, we're within our own trying to build up one another, and you turn around and say it's discrimination. See, it's funny how there's an outcry whenever we do the exact same thing.
You don't do the exact same thing. Crime statistics aren't the same thing.
But you're talking crime.
Because you know what I'm talking about is there are young white kids who don't get good breaks either, right? They have some tough breaks, and they don't commit crime in record fucking numbers. And blaming them for this country.
There's a lot of black people that don't commit crime in record numbers.
Statistically, it's not the same thing. There's most of them. Most black people don't. But a young white kid is 12 times as likely to be murdered by a black male than the other way around. In other words, white people, like you said, we're not going in and killing black people. It is absolutely a fact.
So hard to
what if it is true, guys? What if that stat is true?
Where is this is happening.
The real Earth. What if it's true? Hey, what if I could show you the clip and Donald Trump said, one second. Look, I'm the fucking minority here. I get it, right? I'm outnumbered. But what if Donald Trump actually said what I just said? And why don't you know? What if the stat I'm giving you is true? And why don't you know? At a certain point, hey, if you want to blame institutional,
you publicize everything.
If you want to blame systemic, institutionalized, right, wrongdoing, maybe you should look at you guys being misinformed.
The whole thing is fucked up. That's my point. The whole thing is
12-time murder rate. 12-time murder rate.
Black citizens. Is that misinformation as well?
What was that?
Is that misinformation?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Is that misinformation when you look at Donald Trump ordering the ICE to go into primarily black cities along with the FBI? Is that misinformation? When you talk about New Orleans.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, player. It's the reason why the Border Patrol and ICE is in these black cities like Memphis is because those are sanctuary cities, and guess who actually holds sanctuary cities? In those cities are illegal immigrants. That's the reason why. And those cities are ran by Democrats. Because why? The Democrats wanted sanctuary cities. Chicago, Memphis, New York, LA. Should we keep going? Portland. These are Democrat-ran cities because why? They're sanctuary cities housing illegal immigrants. Why do every time when it comes to immigration, we're always lumped in with black and brown people? Why can't it be just black folks? Why? Illegal immigrants are there. Stop playing. Man, stop this amnesia. We got to stop this.
What else can we say about those cities? What else can we say about those cities?
Question, Steve. I'm asking a question. Is that misinformation? See,
the way you're presenting it, yeah.
No, Steve, I asked you.
Is it because they're black? Or is it because they're sanctuary cities?
Thank you.
See, that's
another
bullshit term that you guys have adopted on the right. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's an actual policy. It's an actual policy where they don't deport and they actually subsidize illegal. You hear about Aurora, Colorado?
Steve, I'm going to share something with you, and I hope I don't lose my job behind what I'm about to share with you. Let me tell you something.
I hope you don't either.
Let me tell you something right now. There is a big push with this immigration bullshit that is placating the public. Because let me tell you something. When they come to this country, the minute they hit the shore, the first thing they do is call and say that I want Medicaid. And guess what? By law, there is a record called non-citizen emergency expedited Medicaid. We have to give it to them, all right? So if you want to turn around and talk about immigration, then you got to talk about the corporations and stop incentivizing this shit to happen, all right?
Because when they come in,
nobody says that. Nobody talks about
I agree with you.
that,
Why did Kamala Harris say that illegal aliens can't get Medicaid?
But the problem existed long before Kamala Harris, though.
No, what I'm telling you is that the left. Why do you think we have a government shutdown right now?
But that's what I'm saying.
Right now, because the left wants
government shutdown because of healthcare. It got that
healthcare for who's going to be beneficiary? Illegal aliens.
Yeah.
But see, you say that, but
you shouldn't pay for that. I agree,
that's
right?
Just like
Someone
saying
illegally
aliens can vote. You damn well know they can't.
Of course they can.
Yes, they can. What are you talking about?
How do we do it?
Instances have you seen?
How many states have voter ID?
Are you kidding me? When look, man, I'm from Louisiana originally. Okay, when I go to vote, the first thing they ask me to do is, please let me see your ID.
Yeah, how many states have voter ID?
Okay, then you tell me the number. You got the number.
It's over 20 that don't.
So 20 states that don't.
We were told illegals couldn't get on Medicaid, but here they are.
But I just told you that. I just told you that.
I agree with you.
That is something that has been going on in this country for damn years. Because you know why?
So let's deport them.
Who's the corporate benefactors? If you're gonna do that, then make sure that.
Well, you know why? Do you know about the census rule change?
No.
And by the way, this actually directly harms the black community, specifically the black community in a lot of ways, because you have a much more comparable percentage of the population to like Hispanics, right? More than white people. You're close, depending on the state. The census rule that they wanted to change, which you can thank Donald Trump for reversing, was going to count people in the household whether they were legal or not. Do you realize that would actually change district seats, voting patterns, and the electoral college? Why should someone here illegally be able to be counted?
The electoral college does need to be changed.
My point is, it would have been changed based on illegal immigrants. People who, and you know what else is pretty, hey, there's also a pathway to citizenship from the Democrat Party. So if you vote for us, you're going to get your free shit. And you know who pays for it? All of us. And you tend to have more Hispanic people in the black community who are there illegal. You live in closer proximity. My woman is Hispanic. She's Latina. Of course, she's nuts. But she'll tell you, because she has family members who are here legally, they're not at risk. Sanctuary cities are a problem.
What about the companies that employ these illegal immigrants? See, they keep
punish them all.
Punish them. Because once again,
punish them all.
Somebody.
Are you going to punish the hand that feeds you? Come on.
Hold on. I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
The companies that employ these illegal aliens, they're profiting not only by the normal margin, by an increase because they're paying less to these people. But one thing, living in Texas and Louisiana, who gonna pick that fruit?
Oh, plenty of white people. Plenty of white people.
Man,
Plenty of white people.
Y'all white people ducked and ran from picking that
Didn't you see that? Didn't you
you
see that? There was Ohio, I think it was Toledo, the meat packing plants. Once they said we can't hire illegal aliens, it was a line around the block of white people.
Wow.
Do you realize that the enrollment in the trades has gone up?
They was inside. I said out there in that sun. Who gonna get out there in the sun and get them strawberries?
Hey,
who gonna get them peaches and them apples?
You know who did that? Me.
Ain't no white people out there doing that.
Did you know I did that?
Ain't no
that was one of my
white people out
jobs.
there. Ain't no white people out there.
I did a part-time job working in an orchard, and then I worked construction. Why wouldn't we do it?
How many white people? You might have been out there as an individual.
That's what I'm saying. It's just because it happens.
How many of them was out there? I done drove by the
They weren't
field.
So hold on. You guys, when he brings up a macro fact, you guys focus on the personal event. And then when you're trying to make a macro point, he brings up a personal event, and then you just discount it. That's what I'm seeing. Can we answer the questions, guys? Again, great questions from both sides, but answer the question. Answer it. And not with no anecdotal type of scenario. Answer the question. These guys just came out and said the sanctuary cities was a right-wing talking point. What are you talking about? It was made about a right wing. It's literally a policy called sanctuary cities. It's Philadelphia's a sanctuary city. Chicago is. What is going on? What is this? LA, sanctuary city. What are you talking about? My God.
Out there
I
because it's slave labor.
And seen them Latinos out there.
I never thought I would see a black man advocate for modern slavery because that's what that is. That's modern slavery. That's modern slavery.
They should be paid more for the work. That's hard work, man.
They shouldn't be here illegally.
Somebody got to get that cabbage out there. Somebody got to get them sweet potatoes out the ground. Somebody got to do that. White people not going to do that.
Of course we will.
Once again, when the work got hard, that's when they went and got slaves.
Yeah, white people don't know hard work.
The Indians broke down. They went and got black people. They got the Chinese. They conned them in doing the railroad like you said.
But hold on then. But if you'll go back to the history, big dog, big pimpin', which I'll give the history, who did business with the white people to get us over here? Black people. We sold our own selves. We have to come building this thing too. Yes, we did. Yes, white folks just bring us over here. Yes, they did. But we didn't come voluntarily. We were actually bartered, sold by our own people to the white people. Why does that get omitted from the history books? And number two, why do we always begin Black history from slavery? We begin it from there and then we end it there. Why? Well, why don't we talk about our existence before slavery? Us running Egypt and us being brilliant over in Egypt. Post-slavery, when it comes to all the inventions that we've done in America. Why does it begin and end with slavery? Could it be that is a marketing ploy to keep us trapped within the traumatic context, so we can't bloom with our brilliance as we should? This is why a lot of Black conservatives say, get off the Democrat plantation. Get off the plantation. If a political party or politician, no matter the party, is just talking about the traumatic event and ends the discussion there, you are getting fooled. You've been bamboozled. Run. Do not vote for them.
But then when white work get hard, white people ran from that kind of work. So if you can't tell me in 2025 you gonna go find one of them two-generation upset white boys that's
I'm telling you,
climb that tree.
I'm telling you, it's a statistical reality. I'm telling you.
That's not.
And hey, what do you think happens when people coming from the third world aren't working here illegally as modern-day indentured servants, slaves? What do you think happens when they're not there? Wages go up. Why would you pay more when you can have someone who's off the books, you can threaten with deportation, pay him dog shit? By the way, that hurts your wages too.
I'm saying if you're going to have those people, you got to pay them more because that is somewhat a form of slavery. That's some hard work out there. That's some hard work out there. But the companies that employ the Tropicanas, the Del Montes, the Libby's, all those companies that get the people, somebody got to get them green beans. All those companies are profiting from that cheap labor. Somebody got to pay. So if they're profiting from that,
I agree.
Those are the companies that need to be punished.
They should be punished, and the government that incentivizes it should be punished.
Whoever
government is incentivized it because they're stealing food from your kids' mouth.
The borders
we can agree on that. Hopefully,
I'm all with that. But if you gonna let them in here and somebody gonna profit off of it, make them folks have to spit that bread out. Because if you punishing somebody, if you making that kind of profit off that illegal labor, you got to make it so punitive that I don't need to get that illegal labor because it's killing my profit.
But if we apply it, and I agree with you, punish them, right? I agree with you 100%. Wouldn't we also apply it to sanctuary cities that have harbored illegal aliens and prevented the deportation? By the way, you know Barack Obama
deported.
A
sanctuary city, that's a city where you can come if you're an illegal alien.
And they will protect you from deportation.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Exactly. That's why
I was born here. I was born here, so I don't give a damn about nobody that's illegal. You ain't supposed to be over here. You got to deal with it.
I agree.
You got to deal with it.
I agree, and anyone who's sponsored it should be punished.
My kids was born here. My mom and my daddy was born here. My grandparents was born here. And so we here. So if you're not supposed to be here and you don't go through the legal channel, you got to deal with the consequences of that.
Yep, I agree.
No, I'm not here for harboring nobody.
I am for legally having a path to citizenship.
Not legal.
Right.
That's different. Legal immigration is different.
I agree.
Legal immigration is different.
And by the way, it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be easy.
You should have to pass some tests.
It is.
You should have to pass some tests to prove that you're going to be here. You're going to contribute.
Once again,
I agree.
Once again, if I just went to Montreal. If I wanted to move to Montreal, I'd have to do some shit.
Oh yeah.
It'd take like 3 years for me to officially become a citizen, and there's a lot of stuff that I had to do in them 3 years.
Yeah.
To prove to them that I'm worthy of citizenship.
Right.
Well, it's even worse when people hear. This is why I say people don't realize that America is actually they provide more opportunities than any other country. You don't get assurance maladie in Quebec unless you've been employed and paying taxes. I think unless they changed it, I haven't been there since 2004, 3 years. So in other words, you do not receive anything comparable to EBT, SNAP, any of that, unless you're a tax-paying citizen with a record. They don't let people come there, white or black. Also, they are way more racist than America. People don't realize that. French Canadians, yeah.
Gotcha.
They're super racist. And the reason, my experience has been that Americans are the least racist people of all the countries. That includes Europe, that includes Canada. People think Canada's awesome, but French Canadians hate the Haitians because it's a French colony. They hate the Vietnamese. They're just awful.
That's what I was about to say. It's different pockets that they hate. They don't hate. They don't hate us, Americans.
Yeah, they don't like Americans.
I didn't experience that.
Yeah, they talk behind your back.
I experienced it. Well, that may
and it's bullshit too. They're jealous. They're jealous.
But they're gonna do that here too.
Yeah. So. No, I know. Yeah, no. Canada's a silly place where, again, it's bigger than the United States with a tenth of the population, and it doesn't have the same kind of diversity that we have here. I mean, when people point to Norway or these countries that have giant social safety nets, it's like take the population of Rhode Island. Hey, and I'm sure you could probably make it work better too if it was 100% black or 100% Nordic. When you have a cultural common ground, it's easier, right? We have a lot more pockets in this country than in places like Canada. It's a beautiful city to visit, though. I highly recommend it. To live there is awful. You want to pay 52% income tax and 14%. What was sales tax when you went? 14%?
Yeah, sales taxes.
You know what's crazy about it?
Like that.
You're taxed on tax. So you have a bill, they tax 7%. Total it, and then tax another 7%.
I was about to say, they came and got some more money after we got back.
Yeah, that's socialism in Quebec. And I mean, I've buried relatives from their socialized healthcare.
Which is why we need to fight harder to preserve this country versus, because see.
So guys, that keeps going. That was a phenomenal exchange, guys. I like these type of discussions. Real quickly, guys, I would just say this here. And then we'll end it, guys. And thank you so much for blessing me with your time. All right. I would say this here is America is the best system on the planet to grow wealth, in my opinion. If you go to China, it's a lot more challenging, in other places as well. Singapore is okay, but America, in my opinion, is the best place, in my opinion, to build wealth. I would say also concerning my black brothers and sisters, guys, let's broaden out the discussion. All right, let's broaden out the discussion. The reason why is because I think that when we brought out the discussion, guys, what can happen is this here is don't let the discussion begin with slavery and end there. We can begin pre-slavery, talk about slavery, and then also post-slavery, and make sure we end talking about our successes as a people, the brilliance that comes from African Americans, the brilliance. All right, the brilliant guys. We are brilliant when it comes to African Americans. We are brilliant. Okay, we are brilliant. So I gotta say we have to do a better job at talking about this because we really don't. We don't at all, guys. We don't. I can name you countless individuals that and I was like Matthew Johnson. Matthew Johnson is the only African American that actually owns a life insurance company in the nation. Only African American. He owns the LA Dodgers. I think a portion of the LA Lakers, and the Washington Commanders. Tyler Perry is another guy. Bob Johnson is another guy. Michael Jordan's another guy. Ben Carson's another guy. We have so many successes when it comes to the African American community, guys. But we talk with the lion's share of the discussion is always about slavery. It begins and ends with slavery. My question is, why? Why does it? Why can't it not? Why can't we not begin to broaden the conversation? It's like we held captive by slavery. Why? I really would like to know. I really would. And again, not to debate, just to learn and educate. But I've never seen anybody that begins with a negative thought and ends with a negative thought that's ever successful. Let me say it again. I've never met someone that begins with a negative thought and ends with a negative thought that the destination is what? Success. I've never heard it before. Have you? So let's broaden out the discussion. All right, guys. We're going to guys. I'm gonna get into this real quickly, guys. Hey, as you guys know, I'm a private equity investor and real estate investor, guys. And I always say you make money when you buy real estate, not when you sell. Selling is icing on the cake, guys. You have to learn how to buy right. How do you buy right? You buy distressed properties below the wholesale price point. Guys, I'm getting rid of a free ebook guide called Distressed Property Investing right there on the screen, guys. It is free. Don't want nothing from you at all. This is how you get access to the free ebook. DM me the word real estate. My team will get that out to you. Or you can scan on the QR code here on the screen right here and go right to it. You take a quick little survey, guys, and download it as well. And then lastly, guys, if you're in the show notes, you can click on the link in the show notes and go to the exact same place, guys. Again, when it comes to real estate, you make money when you buy, not when you sell. Number two, guys, some folks always say, hey, LaDale, real estate is not for me. Do you know of an additional side hustle that I can actually do that can help me out? The answer is yes, guys. As a private equity investor, guys, the one thing I do investing is technology, specifically AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Guys, there's a term called FinTech, or stands for financial technology, right? The banking FinTech model is taking off, right? Bank of America is about to go fully financial FinTech, right? And what I've heard they're about to do, guys, is eliminate almost all of their brick and mortar places, right? Because everybody makes their deposits from their phones, right? Very rarely people go into the bank. Some people do, because old people do, but very rarely they do that. So, guys, what's happening is you have companies like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Farmers Insurance, DirecTV, other big box Fortune 1000 companies are adopting this financial technology model, and they're allowing people like you and I to begin to build businesses through this financial technology, guys. Guys, it's really good. Now, there's free information you can listen to. It's free, 100% free, guys. How do you get access to it? DM me the word mentor. My team will get it out to you. Number two, you can scan out the QR code on the screen. Go right to it, guys. Take a quick survey, and then go right to the free information. And then lastly, guys, in the show notes below, click on the link, and you go right to that same section, guys. But guys, and lastly, if you want to holler at your partner, Dale, you know me, you see me looking fresh, cold, clean in my ice cold drip, guys. I'm on an app called Manek, guys. Right? With Manek, you can direct message me, you can video phone call with me, send me a text message as well. I can record a video for you guys. Ask me any questions you want to ask about business, finance, marriage, the Bible, you name it, guys, life. You can reach out to me, guys. I'll get back with you ASAP, guys. It's real easy. Scan on the QR code on the screen or the show notes below. There's also a link. Click on it and schedule time with your partner. Come kick with your man, Doc. Realistically, all right, guys? Well, guys, thank you so much for your time, guys. I had a great time kicking it with you guys. I'm sorry. Lastly, guys, every single Friday at 5 p.m. CST, my partner Cliff and I do something called Real Estate Friday Live, guys. Here's a little bit of sample. Here's go. What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
Guys, that is Real Estate Friday Live, guys. Every Friday at 5 p.m. CST. Your partner and Cliff, man, we gets it in. Get my color right, y'all. Get my color right. Every Friday at 5 p.m. CST on all platforms. So come kick with us. We talk about all things real estate, mortgage rates, and the cryptocurrency. How crypto is combining with lending, guys. And it could cause an explosion. We're going to talk about that as well, and how it can also maybe even drive down rates. I said it with my chest. But guys, thank you so much for your time. God bless you. Know I ended every single time, guys. Before you leave when you can, baby. You see that thing, baby. Take that picture for your mom and them. Holla at your party. God bless you guys. See you guys tomorrow, guys. All right, y'all. Holla at y'all. All right, you man? All right, y'all. Peace.
What if you could help families lower their bills and get paid for it? Healthcare premiums, insurance rates, and loan interest just keep climbing higher. And most people just keep paying without knowing that there's a better way. We use a FinTech platform that connects people to lower healthcare costs, competitive auto and home insurance, better loan products, higher yield bank deposits, and even ways to cut energy costs, all in one place. It's the same technology that banks and big corporations use currently. But now entrepreneurs like us can leverage this technology to build an income stream and help others save. Take our 30-second assessment to see if this business model is a fit for you. Click on the link, watch the short video after, and let's explore what's possible.
Okay, so you did fixes and flips first, or were they? Now it sounds like you're more buying whole. Okay, so you're wholesaling first. Okay,
because I was broke. I had no credit, I had no money. So I had to get some money coming in. So I learned how to do wholesale.
And you were doing wholesaling at the good time too. 2000. When it wasn't so saturated. I
kind of saw the debacle coming. Okay. It didn't make any sense. I was like, wait a minute, how can you lend out to retail buyers 99.7%?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a down tick, it's insolvent.
And you got to remember, in some states, because I lived in Florida at the time, you could have loan to value above 100% of your property.
Right.
The first property that I bought, it was 110%. We left the bank with like $30,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was amazing to me. I was like, why am I not doing this all the time? But then clearly 08, 09 let me know why people shouldn't have been doing that all the time.
08, 09, that's why I made that lion's share of my money.
Wow, okay.
Actually running from the cows, I was running to it.
Of course.
Because I saw it was coming.
Okay.
A lot of my business colleagues back then were buying flippers.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was wise for me to share 50% of my profit with Uncle Sam. He didn't do no work.
Okay.
So why would I give him free money?
Of course.
Okay, how can I make sure I'm still legal, but keep the lion's share of the cash flow?
Of course.
So I began studying the tax code with my accountants and CPAs, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy a whole lot of properties. Now watch this. I actually buy a lot of properties. I take home money when I actually acquire it. Every single time.
Okay, you need to break that down just a little bit.
If you'd like to learn how successful real estate investors make money when they acquire real estate and not when they sell it, click on the link below, swipe up, DM me the word to real estate,
to download our free ebook, Distressed Property Investing. The blueprint is in the ebook. Stay blessed. I'll let your partner and download the ebook today.